Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to round 2 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship, coming to you live from Magny-Cours. Joined again, as always, by Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Good to be here, as always. Looking forward to another exciting round 2 continuation of our Season 21 Championship, buddy.
We are finishing up practice here. We'll be going to the qualifying session momentarily. I just want to make note that those of you out there expecting to see us at Infineon, the plane got diverted and we ended up in France. So we will be racing to you from Magny-Cours tonight. Truth be told, we discovered an issue with the track late last week, so we made the executive decision to run Magny-Cours, which is a stock track, and some guys, most of the guys are familiar with it. Believe it or not, we've only run here twice, back in 2008 and then in 2011. So compared to some of these other stock tracks, not very well utilized, I should say, and it's a pretty good track.
It is indeed, and I was going to mention the same thing, run only twice previously in the GT2 class. However, in the GT1 class, it's been utilized quite a bit. So I think we have run it five times, maybe 6, but 5, I think. I think, however, it's very well suited to this GT2 class, and it should make for some pretty close action over the course of the hour race tonight, excuse me.
Well, quick look at the track map, 17 corners. First couple sets of corners are very tricky for a lot of these guys. Brad, you did a great onboard of this circuit. Why don't we take a look at that right now before we get going here. Here's Brad on board in the Aston.
Now look for our turn-in point right at the end of this front straight wall. Most guys will be in 5th gear around this corner coming into Estoril. So you want to accelerate here well before you can see the apex. That's going to give you your best speed coming down this long straight. The Aston Martin, of course, will do very well along this front straight. Lots of power here. Coming into Adelaide, very late braking corner. You can get away with quite a bit here. There are several lines you can take. I do not approach it very tidily as I'm a little too far inside, but wheel spin always a concern coming off Adelaide as we head now into the Nürburgring corner. A lot of guys will be taking this in 5th gear here. You want to really watch the inside second part of that apex there, as it's very easy to cut. And cuts, of course, will count for quite a bit around here. So through 180, you want to get good traction coming off there. Wheel spin, another concern. Good to have a good balanced car around this track. Coming here to Imola now. Another easy corner to cut. You really want to try to maintain a good speed through there. You want to be on the throttle through the second part of that corner, at least holding some amount of positive throttle if you can get away with it. Tricky corner, easy to cut back there. Coming up to the final part of the track, there's a ton of time gained or lost in this part of the track. You really have to hit this last chicane with a lot of curving. You could take quite a bit of the inside, but not the second part of that one. And that's going to give you your best speed around this track at Magny-Cours.
You have a great rundown, Brad, of the track.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's one of my favorites, honestly. I really love jostling around here. It requires quite a bit of setup work, really, to get it just right. There are some big downforce sections, but there are some big power sections where you don't want so much downforce on the car. So it does take a compromise, and again, that last sector is really super important around here. The guys that are going to be able to make best use of the curbing at that final exit are going to be the guys toward the front.
Well, that final exit is an exit we're going to keep an eye on, because we have seen more often than not guys run just a little too wide coming out of there and find themselves running into that retaining wall. So hopefully that does not happen. Not to say that it does. Plus those chicanes can pose is usually the cause of that problem, to be honest with you.
Yeah, you have to be concerned with that last corner exit wall. We will see some retirements there tonight. We always do, and it's always kind of a crapshoot of who that's going to be. We have seen front runners lose it there. We've seen back markers lose it there, and cuts will be very important at this track. It's very easy to cut for time around this place, so these guys are going to have to be aware of that. Make sure they've watched some replays of their laps to make sure that they're in the clear as far as the cuts go.
So we're moving over to the qualifying session. We'll take a quick look real quickly at the penalties last week. We do have a couple guys serving penalties this week. Starting off with Esteban Palacio. He's suffering a no qual this week for this contact with Thomas Schubeck going into turn the hairpin there at Sebring. Gets into the back. Schubeck gets propelled into the side of I believe that's Christian Hamilton. This next penalty got Palacio again. Not a good night for him, as he's got it's 15 some weight for this contact. Gets Jack Ivey out of shape. Ivey ultimately loses the car and loses a huge amount of positions there. So tough break for Jack. Next up we have Jaime Moore carrying 20 kilograms total, but this is the first of his 10 kilograms. Gets into the back with John Houston. Jaime, it looked like he's suffering a bit of connection issue. Inside of that, you see the car sinking into the ground there. So not sure if from his, well, it looks like from that point he did get into him, but this next one, you see Jaime kind of big warp there. So I'm not sure if he even realized he hit Houston, but nonetheless contact, and he carried some extra weight for that. This next one is Alejandro Nieto here, gets into the back of Mike Monahan, turning him, sending him packing, and Nieto drives off in the distance. Mikey Monahan losing a bunch of time for that, so Nieto carrying 30 kilograms. Finally, Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor gets into really comes in deep into that final corner, and Sebring gets into the back of Christian Hamilton, into the side rather, and got blessed with some weight for that. So hopefully we won't see any of that here tonight. But we're in qualifying. Some of these qualifying times here, practice times, so guys in the 36s. Right, there
were a few.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, there were a few up there, and Chris Moses was leading that practice session, but I'm wondering a little bit if that time was not on a low fuel run, whereas Eiran Parsons and Alex White, also in the 36s, I think might have been full fuel runs. But in any event, it's been a cast of regular characters here toward the front in our practice session.
Right along with Chris Moses now as he tries to throw it on a hot lap. He's got some traffic, a lot of traffic up ahead of him. But to give you an idea, when we raced here back in 08, April 27th to be exact, 08, Chris Moses actually won this race in the Viper competition with a qualifying time of 37 flat, ended up winning the race. And then 3 years later, July 2011, Brian Mongrain took the win in the Gumpert Apollo. Chris Moses, also in the competition coupe, finished second in 08, but Paul that night was a 36.5, so should see Chris Moses already beats that pole time. He and Jolicoeur quickly to the top of the timesheets with the 36.3. David Poole to second with the 36.4. So we're seeing those times quickly drop, as it looks like Nieto has lagged out.
Yeah, certainly those times are definitely going to come down from the last time we ran here. Some of the, I think the best lap last time we ran here was something like a 37.9. So we will see those times come down rapidly here tonight.
Following around David Poole. Not sure where he was in the first split, didn't catch that, but...
Well, it's a good mixer at this track. You mentioned Chris Moses there in the competition Coupe Viper, very powerful car. So we see, yeah, David Poole go off there. Sorry I interrupted that, but to finish up real quickly, power cars can do very well here because they can get down that long straight very well, and if you can set up right for that last chicane, you can gain a bunch of time there, and so the power cars can do very well here, but the Gumpert, as we watch Andres Prieto run around here now, in that Gumpert obviously is no slouch, having been a prior race winner here, so the power cars and the non-power cars as the Gumpert all have an equal chance.
Yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on both Prieto. He's carrying a bit of success ballast here tonight, but his teammate Monroy should be quick here as well. So it looks like this Gumpert is well suited for this track.
Yeah, it's going to get around here pretty well. It does have pretty good downforce through some of these high-speed chicanes, and that's a big part of your pace around here also.
Prieto up nearly 0.3 of a second there in the second split, so he's got a good lap going for himself.
This is a kind of a nervous track for qualifying because you really do need to put all your sectors together to put in your best lap, and after you've gone through the first two sectors great and you got a good lap going, you still have to contend with that darn chicane. Very difficult to hit all three sectors around here.
And Prieto to P1 with the 36.1 just edges out Joe LaCour. Alex White P3 with the 36.4, last week's winner, about to complete a lap. Comes out sideways, and that ain't gonna get it done.
Well, he did avoid the outside wall, so the doctors won't have to be called.
Christian Hamilton currently in P6. He was showing some good pace in practice. Stated he really liked this track and liked how it suited the Z4. So as he gets, he's just lost it. Brings it into the pits.
Yeah, indeed. Christian Hamilton not picking up any points last week there at Sebring in our feature race. No doubt a driver that will be picking up some over the course of the season.
No question a tough race for him as he was getting it from all angles last week. Unfortunately, he was a victim of a few contacts. Not by his doing, but by other guys' mistakes. So let's see if he can turn it around this week and get up into the points. As Juan Monroy currently P9. Ooh, he's up in the second split by 7 thousandths of hundredths of a second. So Monroy looking good.
Yeah, indeed, Monroy is looking good, and Chris Moses has reclaimed the top spot there, edging Andres just by several hundredths of a second.
Looks like Monroy. Ooh, he blows that last second to last corner. Just went in a little too late and nearly took it off track. That's going to cost him big time. He jumps up to P6, but he had pace to put that thing on pole.
Yeah, as mentioned, you get through those first couple sectors and you still have to deal with that nasty final chicane.
So for some reason I'm unable to log into the chat for Twitch, so I'm not sure if you're on there. As Parsons is up in Sector 1. But try and get back on the chat. Comes back to me, but I'm not sure if you're in there, Brad. Just want to welcome you.
I'm in there tonight. Yeah, I'm in there, Al, and you can try to hit that refresh. That will load it up many times. Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. If you do like what you see tonight, by the way, on our Twitch stream, make sure you click that follow button. That'll give you some updates and let you know when we're broadcasting live.
So Parsons in the R8 Lost a little bit of time in that second split, but only 0.02 of a second off pole. This is a 20-minute qualifying session. So we're already about nearly 5 minutes in. Let's see what Parsons ends up here. Ooh, lost a bunch of time in the back, so to P6.
Yeah, indeed he did. And actually all that time was lost in the final chicane as I look at the timing and scoring here. The final third sector, I should say. Of course, that consists of 4 corners, all very tricky, particularly those last 3.
David Rowley, yeah, looking a little bit racy in that Z4. Was absent last week at Canada and fill in for him, but he's back for WWRL 7. And about a 10th up, 10th behind, a little over 10th in Sector 1. Hard on the brakes.
Yeah, and despite despite Canavan not having a great race, not collecting any points out there for that team, they still are sitting second here early in the season in that team classification based on Alex White's impressive win.
Well, the pressure's on Raleigh this season to score some points if they want that team championship.
Yeah, we've said that once or twice, I think, before.
Yeah, it's always worth mentioning another time.
Oh, no, absolutely it is.
Rally about 4/10 off in Sector 2.
Oh, I was on board with Moses there as he has blown it off the final chicane. He had a lap going as well.
So Brad, considering the curves in those in that final chicane, would you set the car up with a little bit more ride height than you normally would, or?
Yeah, certainly. You know, these cars are all so different from each other. They're going to like different things and how to approach handling the bumps. But generally, you'll have to do some stuff with those fast dampers, and you definitely will need some ride height as well. But it's so important to get through that final chicane well for overall time that you have to pretty much address it. There's no way around it.
Well, Krishna Khalili making his debut here this season in GT2. Driving the Moslet. Keep an eye on Krishna. Marty Eiran back in P11. Looks like we got a couple guys on hot laps, and Marty gets into the back off. One is the time when you just want to back off. And that's probably one of those times. As Mike Trussler. Trussler currently in P12. Really struggled last week at Sebring, but looks like he's got some pretty good pace going here tonight.
Yeah, and if memory serves, oh, well, he takes it a little off track there, but if memory serves, Mike Trussler did have a pretty good start toward the front at the beginning of that race, but did slip back through the field. Was a little unfortunate to see, but he's a new guy around here. He'll get it figured out.
Mike on a out lap here, so it's not a time lap. Mikey Monahan back in P13. Mentioned his teammate Palacio not racing tonight. Well, he's racing, but serving a no call this session, so he's in the pit lane.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how those guys rebound here tonight after that disappointing Sebring finish. Mike Monahan, of course, hung in as well as he could, but gave up some positions himself there toward the end.
So Mikey jumps up to P12, improves one spot. Thomas Schubeck sitting P14. Schubeck, pretty decent night in the pit lane. Triana 15th. Kevin Miller takes it wide, looks like, in turn 1, and but he's currently in P16. Ivy Moore, recipient of some ballast, a couple penalties. He's currently sitting 17th. Not sure what happened there. That Ford is kind of slowed up right in the racing line, so I'm not sure who's in that Torrance Ford, but Buck Jaime
Yeah, looking through timing and scoring here, I can see Chris Moses actually does have quite a bit more time in hand if he can get through that last sector pretty cleanly. He has the best second sector time of the whole field, so he hasn't quite hit that last sector yet. Chris, I think, can definitely get into the 35s.
Well, the French Connection is making their debut tonight in GT2, and there is one part of it. Laurent Vassman. They have folded up in their GT1 efforts and have focused entirely on GT2. So we'll have to keep an eye on these guys, as we know Savoie, what he can do, especially in qualifying. Vassman's got some pace himself. He's just gonna put that. Stay out of trouble in the races, and he should be okay. We'll keep an eye on those guys.
Yeah, certainly Laurent Weissman has good speed, and it's all been about consistency for him. When he is consistent out there on track, he puts in good results.
John Houston currently P20. Take a look where his teammate is. Teammate's currently P6, so Houston had a very good run going last week. Ooh, and he's up in Sector 1. Hopefully he doesn't have his timing up, because he might have seen that and been like gripping the wheel tighter now. Have to keep an eye on the rest of this lap.
Yeah, I'm sure that he does have his timing up, and it should be noted that teammate Eiran Parsons does have the best overall first sector time. So whatever they're doing, they're getting through that first sector very well.
Bunch of time in the middle split, so he was up in Sector 1, he's back a second and a half in Sector 2, so I'm not sure where exactly he's losing it. I think it was through that 180 though. Yeah,
that can contribute to a lot of loss of time. Also heading into that through that the chicane prior to that corner. We see now a quick update. Andres Prieto has jumped Chris Moses now there for the P1 with a 36 dead.
So Prieto leading the way with a 36 flat. We have Marco Conti currently P21. Mike Greatrix currently P22, and looks like had some contact there. A lot of traffic out there. A lot of these guys finding their way into one another. Johnny Lugnut's absent last week. Him and Liquid Lou Mascarelli on a motorcycle trip with one another. They're back this week. And Johnny currently P23. And his buddy Lou is 24. Brian Story running P25. Watson back in 26th. Chuck Carter in the Lambo running P27. Here's Phil Hooks, Christian Hamilton's teammate, currently 28th, about to start his hot lap. Dan Wilkerson, 29th in the Viper. Ken Rodriguez, currently P30. There he is, Chris Jackson, that's the guy in the Ford, currently 31st. Ravi Monogaran, 32nd. And Esteban in the pit lane. I don't see AJ Balan tonight, Ravi's teammate. So maybe he'll make it in quali 2. Gup Douglas running 34th. Has yet to set a time. So it looks like Gup's filling in for Salem Montgomery Jr. Salem out. Had a great run last week. Finished 3rd.
Yeah, indeed, Salem Montgomery had a great finish last week. Kind of sad he's not going to be here tonight to try to garner himself some more points toward this championship. But you mentioned Gup Douglas and him just now getting out on track to set a time lap. He's going to have to hurry because we're down to 6 minutes to go in this session.
So following around Chris Moses on a hot lap, currently P2. If he would be... He could put the... Ooh, he's up big, nearly 2/10. And ooh, that might have cost him. Broken way too late going into turn 1, so we'll have to see that second split.
Yeah, did better his time by about 1/10.5 there through that first sector. I think it is very possible he's going to hang on to this time through the second sector.
Oh, we lost it.
Nope.
Yeah, I think I believe that was Halili who was off right at turn 1. That might have thrown him off a bit. But Chris will have another go at it for sure. There's still some time left. But if he manages to put that Mercedes on pole, it'll be the first time you see that Mercedes on pole.
And it would be good to see, Al. Chris Moses always does run very well here at Magny-Cours, so it's not too surprising to see him making a charge here toward the front. And he does still have time in hand there, and if he can ever hit that last sector.
Alex White. Ooh, to P2. 600ths off Preto's time.
Yeah, Alex White had just been overtaken by Ian Jolicoeur for the 4th spot until that last lap where he jumped up a couple more positions. The times are quite tight there toward the front.
Preto missed his first split and he's currently approaching sector 2 split time. White with a bold statement after last week's race saying he didn't think anybody could match his or Preto's time as Preto backs off. Looks like Moses may have an answer for that, and some of these, couple of these other guys as well, Jolicoeur and David Poole.
Well, yeah, there's no question about it. I think Andres would maybe take a different view of that as well. But it's hard to argue with the guy at the moment. Andres, Prieto, Alex White currently P1 and 2.
He was also referring to, as he ends up over 2/10 in sector 1, so Ian off to a charge here. But he was also referring to Infineon, but it could have been a blanket statement also.
Yeah, checking out Alex's practice times, and mentioned that right fast. I know he wasn't terribly happy with some of his pace here around, and I think in the practice session, I don't think he had the type of pace he was really looking forward to. So, always a great qualifier, Alex White, but I'm wondering about his race pace.
Ooh, Ian lost a bit of time there, 5/10 in sector 2, so he's down 3/10. He's got a bunch of traffic up ahead.
You know, that time can come and go, really, in that second sector. Sometimes you think you just nailed it, and you look up and you find you're 3 or 4 tenths off, and sometimes it's kind of a mystery. And that's why the nerves can get so rattled when you do finally hit it, and you're preserving good time going into that last sector. Oh!
Yes, Ian gets into the back of that Ford. Looks like that Ford checked out going through the apex. Ian on a hot lap, and Ian paid dearly. As we're back on board with Moses. Moses just ahead of Alex White. Moses up nearly 4/10 in sector 1. White.
Yeah, indeed he is.
1/10.5. White, you can see him right there, right behind Moses in the distance. Oh, and Moses
Chris
blows
Moses.
the chicane.
Oh! Yeah, Moses was fastest through the first sector of the entire field there that time. It looks like that's going to be it for him. No better than 3rd on the grid for Chris Moses.
Yeah, definitely not going to have time to get back out there.
And that's going to be disappointing.
Ooh, as White is up 2/10 in sector 2. As Preto's just ahead of White, about to start a hot lap. He's going to see what could be White jump up to provisional pole. Ooh, White bumps the wall. Ooh, and takes pole with a 35.8. Wow.
Well, Andres Prieto did set that 36 flat early in this session. He hasn't been able to improve that time yet, so the pressure's really on here. He saw that Alex White take over that position while he's on track.
Ooh, and Parsons gets blocked by a car on a lap. And that's going to ruin his chances to move up.
Andres Prieto just 0.02 of a second off through the first sector.
On board with Andre. So it's worth mentioning both these guys carrying weight. Prieto and White. White carrying 10 kilograms more than Prieto tonight. As the clock has wound down to 0, so qualifying is over. Ooh, Prieto.
Yeah, Andres has put in a Andres has put in a good last sector already. I don't know if he's going to be able to improve to the tune of 0.3 of a second here. It's going to be tough. Boy, that Gumpert does look good over that final part of that chicane.
Just not able to do it.
Looking at Ian Jolicoeur here.
David Poole may be able to get his lap in. He's about nearly just under 0.4 off in the second split.
If he does have time to get this in, he does have a chance to take over Eiran Parsons, maybe even Ian Jolicoeur if he can nail this last sector.
Oh, not enough time. Well, there you have it. Alex White, the only man in the 35s with the 35.8. Prieto, close second, 36 flat, and Chris Moses in 36.1. Got guys in the 36s, 1 through 8.
One through 8, and then really tight with a bunch of guys in the 37. So very tight grid here tonight. And I tell you, Alex White and Andres Prieto are not in power cars, and there's a real chance Chris Moses and Jolicoeur or even Eiran Parsons will get good runs on them here right in our opening lap down this long straight. So it's going to be a critical start for Alex White and Andres Prieto.
So we're in quali 2, just waiting for the some latecomers to show up here this open session. But we have a little bit of time. Feel free to peruse on over to NorthAmericanGP.com. There at the main page, you see at the top GT2 live time, and click on that. That'll bring you to the live timing feed. So follow your favorite driver on track. If you're not currently focused on them in the broadcast, you can find out where they are and what their splits, best laps, gaps are, positions, etc. It's also
indeed, a great.
Go ahead, Brett.
I was just going to say it's a great resource, absolutely.
Also worth mentioning, there's still plenty of t-shirts left. If you've been on the fence there about getting an NAGP t-shirt, right there from the main page, you can click on the logo and pick yourself up a NAGP t-shirt, medium, large, extra large, and 2X. We'll ship it anywhere.
Yeah, boy, those t-shirts are nice looking shirts too. And if we have half a second out, maybe we could drag Matt Taylor up here. You know, he put in a pretty fine qualifying effort tonight. What do you think?
Let's do it. I think they may be running down that pre-race chat. Matt, it is Al and Brad on the broadcast. Do you copy?
I got you.
Well, quite a performance you had there in qualifying, starting P9. How does the Viper feel around Magny-Cours?
Feels pretty good. I think it'll be nice and consistent for me. It's just going to be all on the driver.
Yeah, as always, right, Matt? Well, I was taking a look at some of the results, and of course we couldn't help but notice your fine result last week at the Sebring feature race. Feels pretty good to finish 10th, I'm sure. How's the NAGP life treating you so far, Matt?
I'm loving every minute of it thus far.
How does the car feel with the little bit of extra weight ballast you're carrying tonight?
You know, I can't say I really noticed it too much. I don't think I practiced with it off, luckily, so I can't say it's hindered me at all.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for taking a few minutes here to talk to us, and good luck tonight. What channel you want me to bring you down to?
Thanks, guys. Just knock me into Monday again.
All right, good luck. Well, there's Matt. We'll have to keep an eye on him tonight in that Viper. Ooh, someone just dropped. Not sure who that was there, Brad.
I'm not sure either. We closed the qualifying session with, I believe, 34, and we're still showing 34, so it may have been somebody trying to get in P2. But I can't come up with anybody who's dropped right off the timing and scoring here. So, well, yeah. So it's good to hear a little bit from Matt Taylor there. Anyway, certainly an NAGP up and comer, I reckon. So, good to hear from him. And
absolutely, I think it might have been Felipe. Oh no, he's there. To be honest, I don't know. But we're in the warm-up as these guys practice their pit-in. This is going to be a dicey pit-in here, Brad. These guys are going to have to be careful coming in. You can very easily get a speeding penalty coming into this pit lane.
Yes, certainly, and it is kind of a braking zone while turning at the same time, and so locking up the rear end and spinning it into the pit lane can be a concern. It is a short pit lane here, though, so the guys that can make good fuel economy can really zip in and out of these pits pretty quickly.
So we expect the race to go the distance, the full 60 minutes each time. We've run here before. It's gone 36 laps. Does have the potential to go to a maximum of 38 depending on the pace. There is a good chance of rain here. It does pop up from time to time. It's got an average chance of precipitation, but we'll have to keep an eye on the clouds as the weather can creep up on these guys at any moment.
Yeah, and we forgot to mention that, you know, there right toward the end of qualifying, the conditions had, the forecast rather had changed to a little bit of rainfall, and so I think they got that qualifying session in right under the wire. But you're absolutely right, weather can play a role here. Interesting, we haven't had too much of it on race nights, but yeah, it has a couple times.
It's also a fairly short pit lane, so out time will be pretty quick for these guys.
Yeah, I think we're looking. It's all about the start here, I think, Al, and seeing if again if Alex White and Andres Prieto can survive some of those power cars coming behind them. Of course, you know, on the cold tires, those handling cars, we'll get through that first corner, the first corner complex, I should say, turns 1 and 2 a little bit better, but very easy to run wide also on that corner. So anybody's prone to going off. Always somebody will go off in the first part of that second corner.
Yeah, I mean, we should expect somebody on the beach. Let's hope not. But yeah, those first couple of corners are interesting, and the run up to the hairpin as well as Adelaide is a bit dicey at times. But hopefully these guys can keep it together and put on a good show tonight. One final thought before we move on to the race. It's going to be interesting to see also. This is the first time these guys are carrying weight in their new cars this season. So it's going to be interesting to see how these, the Gumpert and the Z4 handle the extra weight over a stint.
Yeah, we saw Alex White generally do pretty good with the I believe it's 30 kilos of success ballast for one particular race win. However, weight stacked on top of that Z4, he didn't handle quite as well. So, and I suspect that his race pace may be hampered a little bit here tonight with that weight and a little bit of lack of power on that Z4.
So, warm-up is ended. Want to welcome everybody. You're watching live coverage from Magny-Cours. We're about to go green. This is the second round of the GT2 Championship. My name's Al Maramon, and I'm joined by Brad Maris. The Monday night broadcast duo with occasional fill-ins by Rich Roman. Off to the races. Well, might as well run down the starting order there, Brad.
You got it, Al. Why not?
I was trying to figure out the camera here. All right, from pole, starting his second pole in a row. Alex White, followed by Andres Prieto second, Chris Moses third, Ian Jolicoeur fourth, and Eiran Parsons starting fifth.
David Poole will start sixth, Juan Monroy will start seventh, Christian Hamilton starts eighth, Matt Taylor starts ninth, and David Rowley starts 10th.
Krishna Khalili 11th, Marty Eiran starting 12th, 13th, Mike Trussler 14th, Mike Monahan, and 15th, John Houston.
Rodrigo Triana starts 16th, Thomas Schubeck is in 17th, Kevin Miller takes 18th, Jaime Moore starts 19th, and Marco Conti rounds out the top 20.
Mike Greatrix 21st, 22nd, Johnny Lucknuts 23rd, Chuck Carter 24th, Lou Mascarelli, and 25th, Brian Story.
John Wathen starts 26th, Phil Hook starts 27th, Daniel Wilkerson starts 28th, Ken Rodriguez starts 29th, and Chris Jackson is in 30th.
Ravi Monogaran, 31st, Felipe Triana 32nd, Palacio 33rd, Gup Douglas bringing up the rear at 34th. We got 30 seconds to go. These guys make some final preparations.
Yeah, final preparations. Little bit of butterflies going in the belly, checking out who is around them on the grid.
5 seconds to go. We're off. Green flag for Magny-Cours. Prieto trying to get that jump. He's got twice in a row at Sebring. Not going to happen this week, though. Alex White's going to lead the field into turns 1 and 2. LaCour hangs on to that 5th spot. Looks pretty decent back of the grid. Although Prieto's going to have a run on White into 1, as Moses is going to try and follow suit. As Moses and White have a little contact, Prieto takes that first spot away, and Moses is going to take P2, it looks like. Side by side into the chicane, and yep, Moses hangs on to it. White falls back to 3rd. Parsons, 4th.
Yeah, that'll put White in a difficult position here as this race progresses potentially.
So most of the field getting through this first lap okay.
Yeah, indeed, Al. Very clean.
Joe LaCour nearly gets into the back of Parsons. That's going to allow Monroy to get a run on Joe LaCour. So Joe LaCour thinks better of it. Parsons leading the... Prato leading after lap 1. And Halili fall back a couple spots, currently 14. Triana running 16. Ooh, it looks like... Oh, I thought we had someone go off. Matt Taylor, talked to him at the start of this, in the warm-up, currently moved up to P8 from that 9th start position, ahead of Hamilton. David Poole taking a look on the outside of Monroy. Going to be able to get it done. Well, with Monahan as we go through this first chicane, right on David Rowley's tail. Mikey hard on the brakes, locks him up, as does Houston. Halili's falling back a couple more spots, back to 16th. Looks like Joe LaCour has locked up right in a bad spot. And that's causing all kinds of problems.
That's a horrible spot. Unbelievable.
As we have...
I can't much think of a worse spot, actually.
As Conti's got severe damage. He's lost his rear wing. That could have been the worst possible spot he could have locked up in. Miller into the pit lane. He's lost his front clip. He's got a puncture as well. So Conti and Kevin Miller suffering the worst out of that, it looks.
Yeah, and that's really going to blow up the field here. As a result, however, there are a bunch of drivers that have moved up. Matt Taylor was able to get through there cleanly, so he runs up to now into 5th, and Marty Eiran is in 6th. Mike Monahan now in 7th.
Thomas Schubeck having a great run up to P13. Felipe Triana right behind him in 14. So Wathen, who started near the back of the pack, has already worked his way up to P12. So Wathen having a good run. As he takes it sideways into the 180, hounded by Thomas Schubeck.
Well, an unfortunate incident's really kind of played some havoc with the field, but the Ian Jolicoeur's connection usually very solid, so this is some real bad luck for these guys out there.
And off by Marty Eiran, that's allowed Monahan to get by to P6, so Monahan having a great run. As Marty Eiran and Jaime Moore nearly side by side going into the turn 16, sorry.
Yeah, and I have to say, it seems to me Marty Eiran has struggled a little bit in this McLaren for some reason. Didn't put in a great effort there at Sebring, and now looks like he's dropping off the pace here early at Magny-Cours. A few issues to sort out with that McLaren, perhaps.
Parsons taking a look on the inside of White. Top 3 remaining the same. As Prato leading Moses and White. We're on board with Parsons in 4. The unfortunate thing about this sim is when a car locks up like that, rather than become invisible whatnot, it becomes basically an obstacle. Usually when a car locks up on a straight or something, you see it, you have enough time to react, but in that case it was, the guys are going in there hot, there's a train formation happening, and these guys just have no time to react.
I'm checking out Brian's story here, currently in 22nd position. He has well, quite a bit of damage on the passenger side of that car and is smoking heavily, so don't know if that engine is going to last too much longer here, as he's throwing a smoke screen over Gup Douglas at the moment.
It's Matt Taylor now. Impressive run early on, currently P5. Dave Rowley is out with suspension damage. So Rowley did not get the memo to keep the car in one piece, and he is done.
I think David Rowley caught up in that incident, unfortunately, there with that locked up car. Esteban Palacio.
Go ahead.
Also, yeah, Esteban Palacio also in the pits for damage.
So, a nightmare start to the season for Palacio. Ooh, Monroy! Monroy takes it well off track. I'm not sure if he got some assistance there, but he's fallen now back to 12th. So we got Schubeck in the currently 11th, battling Krishna Khalili, who's currently in P10. As Khalili breaks a little too late, and that gives Schubeck that 10th spot. Up and down.
Yeah, quick update. Matt Taylor has gone off, I believe, at, well, I can't tell, but through one of the fast chicanes, and has fallen back to 13th.
Yeah, he's rejoined at 13th, so tough break from Matt. He's running so good in the top 5. Let's see if Matt can make up some ground here after that off. There's a lot of action going on here. On board with
yeah, there is. Yeah, so just taking a look back through timing and scoring here, Alex White has not let Chris Moses get too far off his front bumper, so Alex White hanging in strong for now. Eiran Parsons has not made that move for third, but is still lurking, ready to pounce. Yeah, as a result of that incident, now those 4 drivers have pulled well away from 5th place. Currently on track, Mike Monahan, now some 18 seconds off the pace as a result.
Monahan at P5, he's got Marty Eiran on his tailpipe. So yeah, the gap from 5th to 4th is staggering right now. It's, like you mentioned, 8 seconds.
Yeah, Ian Jolicoeur right up front there and in the thick of it. So a lot of cars affected, but like as mentioned, Rodrigo Triana now up to 8th, Thomas Schubeck to 9th, and Krishna Khalili in the top 10. So some guys benefiting from other guys' misfortune.
Prato continues to lead. I am quite impressed with Halili's pace here this evening. So he's raced a few races in GT1. Struggled mightily actually, but looks like he's put some work in. Has turned it around. As Parsons now with the run on White for that 3rd spot. Parsons looking for the up and under. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, not this lap anyway. And I tell you, the guy that really... Oh, he's going to go ahead and let Eiran on through. He understands the difference in pace there. But that incident really actually helped Alex White quite a bit, because there were guys close to it that could well have had speed on him. Ian Jolicoeur and for just a couple. David Poole as well.
It's an interesting move there, White letting Parsons by.
We don't see it very often from him. I think that I would like to see it a little bit more from him, actually. But sometimes a guy's got pace, and there's no reason to fight him necessarily. But it is a rare move for Alex to make.
Monahan and Marty continue to do battle. Let's take a look further back. As Jaime Moore, the two Porsches, Jaime Moore and Triana, running 7th and 8th. Schubeck, like you mentioned, up to 9th. Schubeck having a tremendous performance here tonight. Felipe Triana, 10th. Matt Taylor, he's actually climbed back up to P11 after falling as far back as 13th. John Wathen racing David Poole, and Poole makes the move on Wathen. So I'm not sure what happened to Poole. He's fallen back. Wathen nearly loses it.
No doubt David was caught up in that incident.
Houston 14th. Phil Hooks in the points, running at P15. So Phil having a good run in the Z4. Nice to see Phil in the points. Monroy now back to 16th. What's wrong with Monroy tonight? He is having his share of troubles here in this first stint. Got a bit of damage to the, looks like the right front of that Gumpert. Mugnut's just one spot out of the points, currently P17. Looks like that is Palacio a lap down. Tressler running 18th. Mascarelli running 19th. Chuck Carter in the top 20, getting chased down by Mike Greatrix. Excuse me. Bob Douglas running P22. Douglas with a huge slide, and is he going to keep it off the wall? He does. But he's going to have to work to get that thing back on track. Loses a position to Rodriguez. Rodriguez, our Thursday night color commentator alongside Jack Ivey. Did a great job last week at the Bye for 3 hours. Got to commend those guys for hanging in there that long. And Brian Story still smoking it up here, smoke screen. But currently running 24th. That car's still, oh my God, that car is wrecked.
Yeah.
Halili now, he's fallen back to 25th, so who knows what happened to him. He was up to the top, in the top 10. So Halili just, I'm sure he's just trying to get by so he can see the track. Oh, Dan Wilkerson just took it off. We picked it up late, but he's currently P26. Make that 27 as Chris Jackson gets by in the Ford. As did Ravi Monogaran. Tough break for Kevin Miller, currently P29. He suffered severe damage in that incident early on. He's back at 29. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, it's Marco Conti at P30th. I don't know how that car from Story is still in one piece. Hasn't blown up yet.
Yeah, it certainly will here at some point. The temperature is up there at 99 degrees Fahrenheit. The ambient, however, is only at 79. So you might hang on for a little while yet, but certainly hope he's watching his rep.
Oh, back out front, we have Preto continuing to lead this race. He's got Chris Moses under a second off him, and Parsons right there in third.
Yeah, interesting up here toward the front when Aaron Parsons got past Alex White, he rapidly closed up toward Chris Moses, but that gap has stabilized. But looking through timing and scoring, I noticed Chris Moses has 2 cut tracks already in this event, so having some problem of some type or other, and getting some cut track warnings. He gets another one, it's going to be a stop and go, so Chris Moses will be hampered on pace here, probably for the rest of the event, making sure he does not incur that stop and go penalty.
That would be huge for his chances here if he were to get a black flag.
Yeah, indeed, and otherwise, I think it'd be safe to say that Chris Moses would have pace on Andres Prieto. It's pretty obvious to me that he's being pretty careful. Aaron Parsons, meanwhile, is now right on his back bump.
Right along with Parsons. As already these guys are coming up on some lap traffic. Looks like that's Lou Mascarelli out front. Oh, it looks like that Aston may have let go. Oh, it's still out there.
Yeah, and as you watch that battle, I'll give you a quick update. Marty Eiran has gotten past Mike Monahan for the 5th position at Adelaide.
So these guys are going to have their hands full coming up on that Aston that's doing the smoke job.
I'm looking at timing and scoring here and see that John Wathen has popped into the pit lane here. I'm not sure if that's a possibly scheduled service, but it would be an early stop.
Currently working lap 12. Expect these guys to come in around lap 18. Wow, that's quite... let's give you guys a perspective of what the track looks like with all that smoke.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult, and why it's not allowed in qualifying to be smoking. It's understandable, a guy during the race, and it's something you just have to deal with.
So these guys are going to have to be a little careful as they try to hit their marks.
I'll give you another quick update. David Poole has moved into the top 10. Just you'll remember 4 or 5 laps ago, David Poole was back there in 17th after getting caught up in that incident. So David Poole making progress back toward the front.
So these guys closing up quickly on this Aston, and story lets the train go by. Part of the train. He's going to let them all go by. Moses runs a little wide, but Parsons unable to take advantage.
Yeah, may have gotten caught up in some oil there from that Aston. Got a little slippery there on entry.
Yeah, it's seeping. But you did mention Marty Eiran. You see him here running P5 just ahead of Mikey Monahan. Now you got to wonder, question that stop by Wathen. Certainly would be rather early. I don't even know if that car could. Maybe it could.
Yeah, I'm just not sure, Al.
I'm not sure. So meanwhile, Jaime Moore and Rodrigo Triana can. Ooh, as Moore just takes it off track. Well, broadcaster's curse there. That allowed Triana to get by, and well, Schubeck may take advantage as well. But it looks like Moore's back on it, and looks like it's only going to lose that one spot. David Poole.
Thomas Schubeck was.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, I was going to say Thomas Schubeck was maintaining the gap to that battle. So Thomas Schubeck having a nice drive here early in this event.
So Schubeck chasing Moore down, and Not sure how that gap's been between Schubeck and David Poole, but Schubeck maintaining a couple-second lead over David Poole, who's currently P10.
Yeah, that gap has come down. David Poole running about a half-second a lap faster, lap to lap.
We have Triana P11. Monroy P12 and Houston 13. This field is really mixed up with lead and lapped cars after that incident. A lot of guys with unscheduled pit stops really clogging this racetrack up. We got a battle here for that 14th spot between Phil Hooks, Matt Taylor, and Mike Trussler. So these three really having quite the battle here late in this first stint. Taylor may have the pace on Hooks down the straight. That Viper's quick. But Taylor, we mentioned earlier, was running in the top 5, now back in 15th, so it's part of the learning curve coming here. Taylor fairly new. Just staying out of trouble. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy. It off track or overdrive.
Yeah, that's
especially when you're
that's absolutely.
Especially when you find yourself up, in the top 5 early on. When you're not generally used to being up there.
Sure, yeah, you bet. Adds a little bit of pressure. Get some white knuckles on the wheel, absolutely, and also the tire wear I think is starting to play an issue for all these guys here now that lap times have started to increase for everybody out there, and it's going to make it a little difficult for Jaime Moore, Thomas Schubeck, and David Poole as they fight over that 8th spot, nose to tail.
So Phil Hooks had a little bit of a bobble, allowing Taylor and Trussler to get by. Now Johnny Lugnut's looking to score that final points paying position. So Johnny in this fight as well. Take a look at the laps. Currently working lap 15. Should expect these leaders to pit in either the next lap or two. Keep an eye on them.
Yeah, it'll be coming up pretty soon. I'll give you a quick update. David Poole has taken over the 9th position from Thomas Schubeck.
So these guys up front displaying quite a bit of patience with all these lap cars. Looks like we have McLaren off. That might have been, I think that's Gup Douglas. Moses makes his way past Kevin Miller. As does Parsons.
It was Gup Douglas indeed. And now Aaron Parsons is making a serious push here on Chris Moses coming down the long front straight here. May pick up a draft going into Adelaide. I know that Chris Moses must be hampered, being very careful not to take that 3rd cut here. David Poole into the pits, Al.
David Poole, first act. It's just so tempting to go quick through these chicanes and use as much as the track as you can. There's that ooh, as Moses puts a wheel off into the grass, nearly gets in the back of Prato. Is he going to hang on to that spot? Yep. That was a close call. Oh, well, Parsons going to Takes a quick look on the inside of Moses, but thought better of it as these guys stay out.
I have to say, as we see Eiran have a bobble there, I have to say I'm very impressed with the drive. I'm very impressed with the drive that Andres is putting in here. I think Chris Moses could have speed on him if he wasn't trying to be careful. I think Eiran Parsons may have speed on both those guys a little bit, but Andres Prieto driving clean lines and just keeping it out front, maintaining what gap he can under pressure. So nice drive really by all three, but in particular Andres.
Mikey Monahan currently P6. Let's see what Mikey does here. He may dive into the pit lane. No.
You know, I have another comment now that I look at timing and scoring. You know, Alex White is not so far off that battle, only about 5 seconds back, and we know he gets great fuel economy. He is going to save a bunch of time in the pit. I'm wondering if he might not be able to jump Eiran or Chris Moses on these pit stops upcoming.
You got to take into consideration the tire wear as well. I'm not sure this is a track you can two-stop on, but more hard on the brakes in turn 2, as Schubeck may have a run on him. Schubeck putting in a phenomenal drive here.
Yeah, he is, and that battle's been brewing now for quite a few laps. Yeah, real quickly, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in here on Twitch TV tonight. If you like what you're seeing, make sure you click that follow button. You'll get some updates of when we're broadcasting live.
So the top 4 have stayed out on track. It's a chess match here to see who's going to be the first person to dive into the pit lane with just over 30 minutes.
Yeah, it could be exactly that. Eiran Parsons actually did just make a little bobble, slip a little bit off of Chris Moses' bumper. And Alex White can use every 1/10 of a second that he could save on Eiran Parsons here to try to jump him on their pit stop.
Moses really close to Prieto, Adelaide. Say coming up on, looks like might be Chuck Carter in that Lambo, the lap cars.
Yeah, very tight racing from these guys under duress, holding good pace on some of these worn tires. So, impressive stuff up here toward the front and through the field, it has to be said.
Yeah, you got to really hand it to these guys, especially the cars getting lapped. Well, both of them, both the leaders and the lap cars, doing a great job getting out of each other's way. So far, there's still plenty of time
indeed.
left. So we expect one of these guys to dive into the pits. And there they go. Oh, Parsons going to stay out, and so is White. So Prieto comes in. Parsons going to lead a lap. This is interesting.
Yes, and this is a track where you can lose quite a bit of time by staying out on worn tires on this track. So tire wear is an issue here.
Look at this. Ooh, it looks like Moses. Moses looks like he's sharing pit lanes with pit stalls with Prieto, and that's it. That's gonna ruin his chance. That sealed it.
Unbelievable.
So you gotta wonder who got the blue light there first. It looks like I don't know if Moses would have come in if he didn't have the blue light, so that's interesting. I was wondering, I saw Moses right on Prieto's bumper in the pit lane. I was thinking to myself, man, they're really close together.
Well, it is a short pit lane, so Chris Moses will not get as hurt as he might say if we were running Spa or some other place. Assuming he has enough fuel to get around, he will obviously get hurt, but we'll still be in line for some good points here. He's got to stick with it.
So battle for that 5th spot rages on between Moore and Schubeck. Go ahead.
Yeah, both guys doing a good job there in that battle. I just wanted to give props to Sarah Carr and Promar for tuning in. Thanks, guys.
So the pit lane is full. Johnny Lugnut's in the pits. Mikey Monahan exiting. Looks like Trussler, Monroy just exiting now. Rodriguez in. Moses back in.
Yeah, very interesting to see how this is going to shake out.
White has stayed out. Parsons in the pits. White's now leading this race.
He has stayed out, Al, and I think that if he stays out another lap or two, he's going to miss an opportunity on that short fill to maybe try to jump Eiran Parsons, as he has completed his pit stop as Eiran Parsons. He'll be making some good time out on track.
That was a great stop by Prato. He comes out a good 4 or 5 seconds ahead of Parsons.
Yeah, indeed. Hello, PLF Spurtle. Glad you tuned in. Thank you.
So White continues on. Does not come into the pit lane.
Yeah, he gave up some time to Eiran Parsons before they even got into the pits, about 2.5 seconds or so, and now he'll be losing some time out there on track. It's all going to come down to just how much fuel he can save in the pit.
So Chris Moses rejoins in P5, just ahead of Marty Eiran. So after all things considered, he's going to fall back to, it looks like, 4th. After Triana pits.
Certainly could be much worse, but you know, Chris Moses had so many great runs here at Magny-Cours, only to have them end up in, well, if not disaster, then denied the win. One of them was to me, I was very happy to say. So a lot of great runs for Chris, but hasn't quite finished off as many as he could around this place. Kind of a bad luck track for him.
Schubeck rejoins. Currently P18. We'll see where he is after the dust clears. Not sure if he's right behind John Houston. Not sure if Jaime Moore has pitted yet. I don't believe he has. Yeah, Taylor currently at P20. Mascarelli back in 22nd. So I'll give you guys a complete rundown after the pit stops completed, as White getting by Great Tricks, and White stays out again as Phil Hooks comes into the pit lane.
Yeah, Alex White, well, 39 mid on that last lap and 38 fives prior to that. Eiran Parsons will be running around 37 flat on the new tires.
Looks like Great Tricks filling in for Jack Ivey, perhaps? Not sure where Jack is tonight. Thought I saw him in the server earlier.
I think we had a viewer mention he had some type of computer problem, perhaps wasn't able to get it sorted in time there, Al.
Oh, tough break for Jack. So taking a look at the gap. So Prato with the 40s, I'm sorry, Prato with about a 5-second lead over Parsons. Meanwhile, White 46 seconds up on Prato in P2.
We had a quick update on Johnny Lugnuts there, Al. Unfortunately, he is out of this event now with suspension damage.
Oh, that's a shame.
Going back quickly to Alex White, you know, it's a real possibility now that I'm kind of thinking about this a little bit. He may be running a double stint here on these tires. If he is, that there's no reason for him not to stay out, just as long as he'd like. So I think that's a possibility here from Alex White.
So he will be forced to make a pit stop at some point. That's a requirement. And it can come on his last lap if he so chooses, if he can get there.
Yeah, meanwhile, Andres did come in with a lead, of course, before the Alex White stayed out. Now runs second with a little bit of time gained over Eiran Parsons in the pit to the tune of a couple seconds.
So Moses loses about 30 seconds on Prato and Parsons after that pit stop debacle. Eiran on his own at P5. Mikey Monahan, those guys have gapped each other. Matrix up to P7. Ooh, Triana and Poole looks like they may have had a coming together. Not sure what precipitated that.
Yeah, that battle is pretty tight between those positions there over 8th. So every little bit's going to count for those guys in terms of track position.
Well, that's allowed Jaime Moore to close up on Poole. Gup Douglas up to P11. Gup, I believe, still has to make a pit stop. Monroy comes out ahead of Schubeck. Halili up to 13th, but I'm pretty sure he's got a pit still. Trussler, Triana, Houston, and Schubeck. Tooth and nail. This has got disaster written all over it. Oh, as one of the asses went off wide. Oh, Trussler. Not sure if Trussler. Oh, is Houston now going to have a run on Trussler for that 14th spot? Gets it done. Power that Audi. On board with Nieto. I'm sorry, Triana. Head up to the run to Adelaide. Schubeck closes up on this battle.
Yeah, and as you watch that battle, I'll just postulate here real quickly on Alex White. I think he's definitely not going to change those shoes. However, Eiran Parsons is really up on the wheel now. I think Eiran has some idea of what's going on here as well. So very intent on trying to make as much time as possible. And Andres Prieto as well, of course. Alex White into the pits. Al.
So White into the pit lane. We'll have to keep an eye on Prieto. Prieto just getting through that third chicane. Sorry, second chicane. Ooh, he's changing tires. He's up on the jacks.
Interesting. Yes. Didn't see that coming, Al. His lap times are really disastrous. They were not good.
Yes, Gup Douglas into the pit lane as well. So Prieto's going to get it done. You see him there coming up onto the main straight. White down. White may get out ahead of Parsons. This is going to be tight. Not that tight. As Parsons comes out ahead of White as well. So, yeah, I think you called it there, Brad. He just lost too much time there staying out. We've seen it happen in the past. Surprised someone like White would stay out that long.
Well, to stay out that long and then come in and change tires, I think was a little odd. But all in all, it didn't really work out that badly. In the end, he didn't lose any time to Eiran. So no harm, no foul there. Unfortunately, Eiran will likely have enough pace to be able to pull away.
So Prieto continues to lead this race here in the Gumper. pick up that battle once again. As Poole has gotten past Graychick's at the pit. Poole's gotten past Moore and Triana. Monroy up to P10 now. So now the pit stop's finally cycling through Houston, and looks like Halili, pretty certain Halili's going to have to pit. Schubeck has gotten past Trussler and Felipe. So, quite a bit has happened here since that pit stop. So Graytrix rejoins. That seemed like a very quick pit stop for Graytrix. Not sure if he took tires or not, but he rejoins in the points in P16. Phil Hooks just sitting shy out of the points in 17th. I think if Graytrix either made a mistake in his pit or just took fuel only, Phil may have a shot at getting that 16th spot away from Graytrix. We'll keep an eye on that.
I think that's definitely a case of not taking tires, and hey, why not take a chance there for Mike Graytrix? Gets him up into the points.
So Matt Taylor, P18. Chris Moses just gets past Chuck Carter, running 19th. Gup Douglas rejoins in P20th. So it looks like we lost Laurent Vassman. It just came to me now. So Vassman's out. Vascarelli nearly taking it well wide. David Poole getting past. Rodriguez 22nd. Kevin Miller still going at it. P23. Wilkerson 24th. Marco Connie suffered heavy damage early on, 25th. And Chris Jackson, 26th. Ravi Monogaran, 27th. Palacio back at 28th. It's a miserable first 2 rounds for Palacio. Lugnut's pocked it.
Yeah, really unfortunate.
Wathen's pocked it. Go ahead, Brian.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, really unfortunate for Esteban and the team.
Well, Mikey, I mean, we saw last season those guys had a great run all season long, right up until the end, you know. But you know, Mike putting in some good work tonight in the top 10, and they'll come away with some decent points. But those two are going to have their work cut out for them for sure. I mean, what got them to where they were last season was both of them finishing consistently in the top 10.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to win races to win a team championship. You just got to be consistent.
Yeah, looking through timing and scoring here, losing out on the pit stop rotation, it has to be said, is Thomas Schubeck, now running in the 12th position. He came in around 9th, if I'm not mistaken. So a slow stop there for Thomas.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I noticed that as well, but he did. Not have a good stop. So top 3 as is Prato, Parsons, and White. Moses in 4th. Marty Eiran currently in P5. He's got, looks like Matt Taylor behind him, a lap down. So the gap between 1 through 6 is pretty spread out. Make that 1 through 7. As Monroy now has gotten past the Trianas and Jaime Moore. These two Porsches have been doing battle. Triana and Moore have been going at it since the drop of the flag.
Yeah, absolutely they have. And you know what? It looks like it's been a pretty clean battle for the most part. So it's been an exciting position to keep abreast on. Another one actually is developing toward the front as Aaron Parsons has begun to pick up some time on Andres Prieto. Now only about a second off.
Earlier on, Moore was up ahead of Triana. Triana. Now it's roles are reversed here. So there you have it. Top 10 as Houston and Schubeck round up to top 12. Back out front. The gap is, you're right, now 1 second. Currently working lap 28. So we got about 10 laps to go before the checkers.
Yeah, Andres Prieto put in a smoking lap there shortly after his pit stop, but has dropped well off the pace from his best lap times, and has currently, over the last 3 or 4 laps, been a little inconsistent.
Taking a look from the rear of Preto's Z4, no, sorry, Gumper.
Yeah, and as you do that, we're looking at, we're working lap 28 at the moment, so the laps are starting to dwindle here a little bit. It might be getting to the point where Andres will have to start fighting really hard. You know, once you get more toward the end, you start fighting harder and harder for those, especially for that win.
There are plenty of places around here to make moves on people, so.
Yes, absolutely.
I think turns 1 and obviously going into Adelaide. That hairpin, it's actually a lot tough. I think that corner is probably one of the tougher corners to make a move on somebody.
It really tightens up.
It does.
Yeah, certainly. It's a very late braking zone anyway, but still in all, it seems like you can brake even deeper than you do as it is. So, but these guys well experienced with this track here up toward the front, so wouldn't expect to see too much untoward happen. And it has to be said, I think now Alex White has found a bit of a rhythm here after maybe not holding great pace here right after a stop. Now a couple 36 mids here in a row has kept him in touch with this battle.
So White currently in P3. So Monroy, after getting past Moore and Triana, he's really checked out and really found his groove here. He's currently in P8. He had some trouble in the first stint early on, but could have had a top 5 pace had he not made those mistakes. I should
certainly, and
I shouldn't say mistakes.
Right.
I don't know if he got assisted or not, but just.
Right, and we saw him as far back as 17th now, as Eiran Parsons very close to Andres Prieto within a half second here coming off the final chicane.
Prieto dealing with some lap traffic up ahead. He got Schubeck and Houston, who have their own battle going for that 11th spot. Ooh, as Triana looks like he's locked out. Schubeck got a bit of that grass. Oh, he did a good job staying off. Oh, nearly gets into the back of Houston. So
got a little discombobulated there. Yeah, missed his braking point in the heat of the moment.
So Houston coming up on Parsons' teammate now. I'm sorry, Prieto coming up on Eiran Parsons' teammate Houston. Lets him go by. But yeah, quite the moment there for Schubeck as he put a wheel off into the grass, and was pretty much a passenger. But he did a good job not knocking down one of those crucial brake markers there going into that Adelaide hairpin. That could have been... Ooh, as Parsons has a look on the inside, but can't get it done.
Yeah, and as those guys battle, Alex White has made up precipitous ground on this group here. Now only a couple and a half seconds in a rear. I got to make note as we watch this battle, Mike Greetrex now has moved up into the 12th position, so perhaps that pit strategy paying off well for Mike. Yeah, tight battles now, and we're looking at just another 6 or 7 laps remaining here for these guys to find a way past each other or stay out in front, one of the two.
As Brito continues to hold off Parsons. Gonna look further back. Houston and Schubert. Greatrex, yeah, you mentioned that, currently P12. Trussler up to 13th. After a disappointing opening round at Sebring, he's up into the points this week. And Phil Hooks up into the points, so Phil up to 14th. Felipe Triana 15th, and Matt Taylor has made his way back into the points, so he's running 16th. Chuck Carter, P17. He's just one spot off the points himself. So one little slip up from the guys up front, Chuck doesn't find himself in the points.
Yeah, indeed. Plenty of laps left here for Chuck Carter to pick up a few spots. Yeah, Aaron Parsons, looking at timing and scoring, still capable of running in the 36s at this late stage of the event. Andres Prieto really only able to hold 37.
So continue to follow this battle for the lead. Prieto doing a great job, as it looks like Marco Conni's lost it in the 180. Back on safely.
Yeah, and again, it has to be said, these guys up toward the front here are doing such good work under a lot of duress as well. So, very fine drive by these pilots here tonight.
Can't get any closer than this, folks. Battle for the lead and the winding down laps here at Magny-Cours. Andres Prieto, is Prieto at a bit of a moment there. Oh, Parsons may get a run on him here going into 1. On the outside. Nope, not enough. Parsons and Prieto battle the top spot.
Yeah, as they battle for the top spot, Alex White now only 1.5 seconds from engaging these guys in a three-way battle.
Parsons going to have a look on the outside. Can't get it done.
Oh boy. This is going to come right down to it. Interesting to see if Andres is going to hold off this charge. You know, in our feature race, he had the opportunity to hold off a charging Alex White and made a mistake there. With just a couple laps to go in that event, gave up that win.
He certainly did.
Chance for redemption.
Absolutely, as White now finds himself in the midst of this battle as well.
Yeah, Alex White late. Yeah, Alex White's late stop there for tires showing to good form here now, as those tires are holding up a little bit better than the Audi or the Gumpert in front.
About to start lap 35.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, RTL 74. Thanks for watching.
This race has a max distance of 38. Last 2 times we raced it went 36, so it may actually go 37 just based on the pace of these guys here tonight.
And if you haven't mentioned it, working lap 34.
Parsons going to take a look on the inside now. Not close enough. As Prato locks him up with a little bit of wheel spin on exit.
Chris Moses into the pits.
I wonder if that was a black flag. Prato nearly takes it wide at the 180. He's feeling the heat.
That's exactly what it was, Al, for Chris Moses. Black flag.
May drop down a 6, but not sure what that gap was over Wamadi, as Parsons now taking a look on the outside. Not having it, as White now looking to take advantage. Ooh, Parsons going to have a run on the inside going into the hairpin. I mean, sorry, the chicane. And Parsons going to take it. He gets it done. White's looking to jump in there as well as Parsons takes over the lead.
Yeah, hard to say if Andres is going to be able to hold off Alex White here, but you know he wants a point advantage over him this race. He's going to do everything he can to keep him behind.
Looks like that's Rodriguez off. White gonna take a look. Ooh, White nearly got it on the grass. A little indecisiveness it looked like. Wasn't sure if I want to go on the inside or the outside or just stay behind.
Boy, I don't think this race can end quickly enough for Andres Prieto at this point.
This is the final lap. I'm almost certain. Just over an hour into it. Parsons leading the way. Let's see if White takes a look on the inside of Prato as we head into this final chicane.
Yeah, I don't know if it's too early in the season for some type of a desperate maneuver here for Alex White or not, but I guess we're going to find out.
Not one to go, sorry. Parsons starting to drive away from Prato.
Yeah, not too surprising there, and I'm wondering now if Alex White hasn't run those tires off just a little bit over the edge, trying to put in these qualifying laps to catch up to Andre.
Tremendous battle here. As our current points leader, currently P3, second place is in P2. Follow White now. He may have a run on Prato. Approach the second chicane here. Oh, White Nearly got in the back of him. Ooh, I think they might have touched a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there, Al, for sure.
So White gonna have a look on the inside. Nope, thought better of it. Hard on the brakes. Maybe trying to force Prieto into a mistake. But that's it. Parsons takes it. Prieto second, White third. Oh, Marty Eiran's gonna take fourth. Chris Moses back in sixth as he got some lap traffic up ahead. Moses is going to try and get past Mike Monahan, who's currently in P5. Marty should finish in that fourth spot. Marty might be out of gas. Marty's out of gas!
We've seen it before from him. We sure have. Oh, no.
There's a bunch of lap traffic ahead as Moses and Monahan go at it. Mikey, he cooked it.
Oh!
And Marty, I don't think he's going to make it. As Moses is going to have a run. Marty coasts across the finish line. Moses takes fifth. And Monahan sixth. Monahan did himself in there. Poole seventh. What a finish here. Monroy's going to take eighth. Moore should finish ninth. I believe he's the last car in the lead lap. Take that back. That's Houston and Schubeck. Marty.
Yeah, I think actually.
Go ahead.
I think actually John Houston and Thomas Schubeck are done. I believe they're just running back to the pits, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, they are done. Jaime Moore was the last car in the lead lap. What a tremendous finish.
It was a great finish, and I'm really liking some of these other storylines. Jaime, they're leaving now, so it's hard to say. Thomas Schubeck there finished 11th, John Houston in 10th. Mike Monahan, despite his mistake, finishing a strong 6th there. And what a finish for the lead. Great stuff.
Let's see if we can have a word with our winner. Eiran, congratulations, Alan Brad here in the broadcast booth. Quite a finish there. Made the pass late in the race. What was your thoughts going into that situation as you finally made the move on Prieto for that for the top spot?
Yeah, thanks, Al. I was just I was biding my time, looking for any opportunity at that point. Because it looked like Andres was struggling a little bit compared to what he was in the first one. So I was just waiting for any opportunity, and was going to press the issue whenever the opportunity came up. And yeah, I knew he was kind of slow at that the exit of that second chicane where you brake uphill and you turn right. So I kind of set myself up for that, and I was able to get a really good run down that straight. Because I had the inside line, then I was able to basically make it stick because I had the inside line to going into the final series of corners.
Well, you had several looks prior to that. Did you think that was you felt that was the best your best opportunity to make the move on him?
Yeah, I didn't think anything prior to that was really a proper passing opportunity. So
yeah, and I was a little curious myself.
Had to wait.
I'm sorry there, Aaron. I was a little curious myself if you thought, well, it looked like in the first stint you had pace on both Chris Moses and Andres Prieto, perhaps by a little bit anyway. Did you think, I was a little surprised maybe to see Andres hold you off quite as long as he did. Did you think that maybe you would have an opportunity earlier than what you finally got done?
Not really, no. I was basically the whole race I was basically on my limit, so what you saw was the pace I had. The first thing that was everything I had just to keep up with, I was still in front. And, the car actually felt better in the second stint. It felt more comfortable. I was able to run that pace a bit more comfortable, but I was still pushing it to the limit to be able to keep up.
Well, congratulations on your first win of the season. How do you feel? How do you feel about your chances this season? I know you've won several championships, but how do you feel against the likes of White, who seems to be extremely dominant every track we race at, no matter how much weight he carries?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I don't know how the Audi will react to the weight. That's one thing that Alex has. He always seems to be really fast, even when he's got lots of weight on the car. So I think that'll be the determining factor on how the season goes, really, and how we both perform when we've got weight. But I like the car. It's a nice car to drive at 9 or 10 tenths. It's just really nice, and it's not twitchy, or it's like you're not worrying about it the whole time. You can just push to the limit and not worry about it.
Well, congratulations on a great race tonight. Well done. It was great to watch, great to broadcast, and I'm sure everybody out there enjoyed it as well. So good luck next week at Fuji. You'll find out how that weight feels for sure there. And good luck the rest of the season.
Thanks, Al. Thanks, Brad.
Well, there you have it, Brad. Great night of racing here at NEGP from Magny-Cours. Just a tremendous finish. A lot of drama. Couldn't ask for anything better.
Nope, pretty much not. That's right. And I'm always keen to looking at those points. Even early, it always intrigues me how these things are going to shake out. But no real surprises there toward the top. It was the usual cast of characters there tonight, with a couple strong finishes there toward the tail end of the top 10. So that's always good to see too. David Poole made a nice comeback there tonight. Mike Monahan and his fine run, that was good to see as well. So all in all, a great event, and looks like we'll be moving on to round 3 next week.
We certainly will. There you have it. So thanks again, Brad, for joining me tonight. Thanks everybody out there for watching. And NorthAmericanGP.com is the name of the site. And if you feel like racing with us, jump on our forum and let us know. So until next week, next Monday, we'll be coming to you live from Fuji. And Thursday night is a Sepang race in GT1. Jack Ivey and Ken Rodriguez will be broadcasting that race. So make sure you tune into that as well. So until then, we'll see you next week.